and customer survey, and you have told about the major differences. I would also like to give some real world examples of the classification and clustering. Basically, classification and clustering are the two main important roles which we have used in the learning purposes. First, in the healthcare industry, whereas classification is used to predict what kind of symptoms and what kind of symptoms lead to the diseases to identify for a patient. Clustering is used to cluster those symptoms into a single group, whether the BP patients could have some sort of treatments and the sugar patients could have some sort of treatments. And in another case, banking industry. In the banking field, the classification is used to identify whether the person would applying for a loan or he is not applying for a loan based on their personal income and their debits, credits, etc. etc. And in the clustering, the banking works on the principle of clustering those person's detail by their financial habits, how far they are debiting, how far they are crediting, and all. And the last one is that education field. Education field is mainly using the classification clustering to show the difference between the students, how they are gonna fail or pass the examination using the classification method, and also through the learning styles of peoples, the students, they will separate the students into groups, they will cluster, and they will give the special coaching to the students who could able to grab easily and who are not stable in gaining that particular content. So that in that case, clustering plays a major role in the education field also. So in real life, there are various fields. The classification and clustering are working as both faces in a coin.
I would like to conclude that clustering and classification both are powerful. Like clustering is built for predictions, like to build patterns and to identify patterns. While classification is built to prediction.
Okay. And you people gave that is a lot of parameters. And before the conclusion, just I want to explore what sort of that algorithms that has been categorized for supervised and then unsupervised based classification and then some clustering. So when we are talking about named attributes, that means in the supervised category, already we know the standard and then so varieties of that algorithms is there. So each algorithm is having their unique features. Like everywhere, so we are using for the prediction is called that is that regression based algorithm. So the regression always keeping its linearity. We are making that relativity in between a dependent variable and then so independent variable with respect to that intercept value of that. So why not? So obviously we know all these parameters behind that is the regression line. And meanwhile, if we want to work with that two set of independent variables, so like in between of the threshold f0 and then say f1. We are having that logistics based of that regression. So there we can able to be applied that sigmoid and find that value where that value is getting to be in upper part of that saturation and also lower part of that saturation. That's happening in that logistics algorithm. Apart from we know how that robust regressions is working. So specifically the robust regressions is working with the outliers. In case the particular data is having that so much of that outliers, there is no need to worry. That robust regression making its effectiveness on that outliers and working very clearly and then reduce the distance and in order to avoid that omission of outliers in the data set. And finally we are having ID3 based algorithm comes under the category of the decision tree. There is so many algorithms in the decision tree. ID3 is also the very important one. And in the category of unsupervised learning, in famous we know k-means algorithms and then k-nearest neighbor algorithms and then random forest algorithms. So these are all the algorithms in order to make to cluster the unlabeled data in order to categorize and then so group the data. So in case if you are interested and if you know how this k-means and then knn is working, you may share.